So let's start. This is the first video of the Oracle SQL tutorial. In this tutorial, we will be mostly focusing on practical concepts like executing and seeing how each of the functionality that is present in Oracle is working. Okay, so this is more from an practical perspective. That is why you must have seen that the lesson name is also Oracle Practical Lessons, right? Okay, so this is the first video and here we'll be starting with some of the basics. So this lecture will not contain too much of the practical aspect, but from next lecture, we'll have more practical aspects, okay? So this is just from for the beginning. So what about, we will start from the very basics, that what is SQL? SQL is a non-procedural language, we all know, but many of us don't know what does a non-procedural language means. Okay, let me try to clarify this. What is a procedural language? We must have seen procedural languages like Python, C++, Java. These are all procedural languages. Okay. So what is non-procedural then? Non-procedural is where we will not write any procedure. Okay. In procedural language like C, C++, we have to write each and every aspect of the code, right? For example, let's see. Here I have created a table. Let me create this table. Let's see if it is coming out. Okay. Table is created, right? I'll just enter three of the, or sorry about this. I will just enter three rows so that we have something to play. Okay. We'll come to the aspect how we are creating table, how we are inserting, what are the different ways to do that. But here I'm just trying to make you understand that what is a non-procedural language. Okay. So in SQL, what do we do? To get any output, what do we do? So let's say we are selecting salary from employee where employee number is equals to 1. So whenever we are running a query, we are expecting some output, right? Like here we got salary equals to 1,000, right? Because we entered, you see the first row. It says for one ID, the salary was 1,000. But here we did not specify everything, right? We only wrote the SQL and there were four different outputs. If you see, I have written all the expected output here. So first output was table does not exist because let's say we created a table employee, but let's say I'm saving employee 1. I'm just changing employee to employee 1. Now running this SQL, it will give us there a table of who does not exist, right? So we got the first output. Next output is it is giving, it can give us invalid identifier. So let's say the column is not available here. So let's say I change the salary to salary 1. Now when I'm trying to run this query, it is giving salary 1 is an invalid identifier. So that column does not exist in this table. So you cannot query, you cannot get any output here, right? So output 2, what is expected? Invalid identifier. Now let's move on. Output 3 is no rows are selected. So it can happen that for this ID there is no row. So let's say we entered 1 to 3, right? Let me query 10 here. If we query 10, there is nothing selected. So when we run the SQL, there is nothing selected. It can happen that nothing is selected. This was the third output. And the final output we saw it in the beginning. If everything is correct, then we will get the output salary is equal to 1,000, whatever we entered here. These were the four outputs that we were expecting from the SQL, but we did not specify each and every output particularly. We did not have to specify everything, right? We could have done if we were writing the SQL in some other language, which is a procedural language, we would have to write if employee is not present, then display table does not exist, table of view does not exist, like we saw. If salary is not present, then display invalid identifier. If employee number is not present, then display nothing, no row selected. If everything is present, then display this. So we had to write all the four scenarios. We had to write a procedure for all the four scenarios, but here we did not do anything. We just wrote a SQL and it ran fine. All the scenarios were handled by the system itself. Okay, so that is what we mean when we say that SQL is a non-procedural language. I hope that is clear. Okay, let's move on. This was about SQL. Now there are different types of commands in SQL. I'll keep this lesson short. There are different types of commands. First is DDL command, DML, PCL, and DCL. DML command is data definition language. So wherever we are defining, how do I remember it? Wherever we are defining any data, that will be data definition language. Okay. When we are manipulating any data, that is data manipulation language. When we are controlling a transaction, what is a transaction? We'll come to that. But when we are controlling a transaction, then those commands will be known as PCL commands. When we are controlling the data, who can access the data, who cannot access the data, what are privileges are there, then we will have DCL commands, means data control language commands. Okay. Let's see some of the examples below. This will be the short version. We'll come to each and specific, like each SQL commands in a specific lecture. But for now, let's see what are in DDL command. DDL command is directly interacting with the database. So like I said, DDL is data definition. So it is defining the data. If we are defining any data, we will have to directly interact with the databases. Okay. So these are interacting directly with the databases. How does it flow? So whenever you are executing any DDL command, like you see I have written here, whenever you are trying to execute any DDL command, before the DDL command there will be a commit. Sorry about that. Before the DDL command there will be a commit, and after the DDL command there will be a commit. Okay. I have to let me make clear one more thing. So based on what happens with the DDL command, so whether this command is executed successfully or not, we will perform this commit, right? First and after commit. So how does this happen? Let me try to make it clear for you. So if this DDL command is successful or failure, irrespective of whether this command is successful or failure, this commit will always happen. Okay, this commit will always happen. But if this command is successful, then only we will have the second commit. That makes sense. But I just wanted to clarify that. If this DDL command is successful, then second commit will happen. But irrespective of DDL command, whether it is successful or failure, first commit will always happen. So we should be very sure before running any DDL command if there is any DML command that we have run. It's data manipulation language command. If we have run any command, because we'll come to that. But what happens when we run a DML command? If there is anything in buffer, we should be very careful with it before doing that, because it will commit everything into the databases. Okay. I hope that is clear. Okay. I've also written one more point here that these commands are faster than DML commands. Why? Because DDL command is directly interacting with the databases, and we'll see that DML command does not directly interact with the databases. It interacts with a buffer, and then that buffer, based on what, based on if we are planning to commit it or roll back it, happens. If we are committing it, then it will be written to the databases. If we are rollbacking it, everything in the buffer will be erased. Okay. So if there is a buffer that is coming in picture, then this will be slower, DML will be slower, and DDL will be faster because this is directly happening to the databases. I hope I am making sense. What are commands are here? We'll come to each and every command when we are doing a specific lecture on DML. And these are the commands for now: create command, alter, truncate, rename, drop, flashback, purge, and comment. Flashback and purge were recently added, but I don't think you should remember which version it came because it is already present now. So flashback and purge are also the two commands. With the help of these two commands, you can, with flashback you can recover any drop table. With purge you can remove everything in its entirety. Okay, let's move on. Second one is DML commands. Like I said, DML command is data manipulation. So whenever you are trying to manipulate any data in the system, these commands will be executed. There are two types of DML commands: read command and write command. Okay. This is the good there. Let's see. Written two more points here. Deal only with data. This is only because this is data manipulation. So if there is data, then only we will be doing something, right? So it deals only whether it has to do with insert, update, read, select. Everything will come into the picture. So we are dealing directly with data. And how does it flow? If you are performing any DML commands, it will happen to a buffer, not directly to the databases.
and based on whether we are committing or rollbacking, like I said just now. If we are committing, then it will be written to databases, okay? And if we are not committing, we are rollbacking, then what will happen? Everything will be erased, okay? Now moving on. DML command, two types of DML commands are there. First one is read. In the read command, we have select. This is also known as data retrieval language. I have just written it. We should be aware about the terminologies that are being used in the system, that are being used in the industry. Sorry. So this is known as DRL command. Select is a DRL command. It is a DML command, but it is data retrieval language. So we have specifically given a convention to this. This is a DRL command. And rest of the commands are write command. Write command are insert, update, delete, and merge. So insert, update, delete, and merge. These will write into the databases, write into the buffer, and then buffer will be written to the databases based on commit. Okay. Also, we should be very sure when we are doing these write operations because rows will be left and nobody else will be able to update those rows. Okay. Other user can only perform read operation, not the write operation. Okay. We should be very sure when we are doing this system, no one else is using the system, no one else will be able to do anything. Okay. Let's move on. Next we have TCL command. Okay, so TCL is transaction control language. I said that we'll talk about transaction. What are transaction? Set of DML write operation. We will do DML write operation like insert, update, delete, and merge. We will do these statements with commit or rollback. So if there is a commit or rollback, then the whole set of operation is known as a transaction. Okay. So after inserting, we are committing, then that is a transaction. After inserting, we are rollbacking, that is a transaction. Okay, the whole setup. So in TCL commands, what are the commands that we are looking for? Commands are commit, rollback, save point. So transaction will come to each and every command. Okay, don't worry about that for now. These are the four commands that are in TCL. Let's move on to the last one, DCL command. This is data control language command. So how do we control the data? With privileges, right? Okay, so these only deals with privileges. This is privilege only command. And it also directly interacts with the databases. So these operations will be performed faster than DML. And that is, we should remember it from DDL also. These are faster than DML because DML commands happen with buffer. And similar to what we had in DDL commands, here also if you see before a DCL command there is a commit, and after a DCL command there is also a commit. And similar to what we discussed earlier, irrespective of whether this is successful or failure, this commit will happen. We should be very sure before executing any DCL command, whether the command is successful or not. We will have a commit and everything that is in the buffer will be written to the database. But second commit will happen only if this DCL command is successful. Okay. What are the commands here? There are three commands that we have here. First one is grant, revoke, and set role. These are the three commands that we have in detail. We'll study about all the commands in the next lecture. I know today we did not do anything like any practical, but from these were very important for your preparation for the upcoming lectures. Okay. In the next lecture, we'll take DDL command and we will discuss about each and every aspect. What are the different methods in which we can create a table, what are the different alters that we can do, what are the and everything we will discuss. How can we do flashback, how can we pause, how can we put on. So each and every command we will discuss what are the different methods that are present in this command. Okay, so that is it for this video. If you have any questions or need any clarification, feel free to drop a comment below or reach out to me via WhatsApp. I have given my number in the description. Okay. So remember, practice is the key. So don't forget to revise these concepts and uh, try them in your SQL developer. Download SQL developer or create any databases from. You will find a lot of video on the YouTube. Okay, so I don't have to create any video, but if you need it, let me know. We'll meet in the next video, but I would expect you to like revise this before coming to the next video. Happy coding and see you in the next session. Bye bye.